Hey guys, welcome to Living in South Florida Does Not Suck. This is Andrew Burr from the Andrew Burr Group at Coldwell Banker. We can't wait to get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Living in South Florida Does Not Suck. And today, my guest is Greg Hooks from Guaranteed Rate Affinity. He's a mortgage guy, but he's also a local guy that lives right here in Wellington. And you've been in Wellington for quite a while. How long have you been in Wellington?
Yeah, a little over 18 years.
18 years, yeah. So yeah. Good spell.
Yeah.
Where were you at before Wellington? I have no idea.
So basically, I mean, a few different places, but I came to Wellington from North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So, and previous to that, I was in Philadelphia.
Okay. So you just kind of migrated your way down?
Started in the mortgage business outside of Philly, and then they moved me down here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So it was a corporate, like a business move. You didn't move down here because I want to move to Florida.
That's right. Yeah. I started with them in 97. So,
okay.
Yep.
And obviously you stayed down here. So leading right into what this is all about, what made you stay? What about South Florida, in particular, I guess Palm Beach County and Wellington right now, since we're going to start there, because we'll expand out from there. But what about living here in Wellington and Palm Beach County doesn't suck? What makes you like it?
You know, it's kind of funny because I was kind of friendly with the guy who was moving out of the position that I took when I came here, and I kind of asked him, the area, because I had always visited the West Coast.
Right. Okay.
First time I got here was right after the 3 hurricanes hit in 2004. So that was the first time I came. I couldn't get here because I had 3 flights canceled.
Yeah. So you're literally trying to go down through a hurricane to get to here.
So I drove down here, and his comment to me was he loved the Wellington area and said that'd probably be a great place, to set up shop. And so that's what I did, and I've been here ever since. And I absolutely love living out here.
Yeah, so 18 years ago, Wellington was already kind of in growth mode. I mean, it was growing up. It wasn't, it wasn't armadillo farms anymore. I mean, there's some stuff definitely going up. Yep. I believe that's around the time that they were probably getting through the stuff on Lake Worth, like the Isles, Grand Isles, and all that. Like they were probably all finished.
Yeah, they were still
working on it,
still building in there
about that time. Yep. And then, so do you live like Old Town Wellington, or are you?
Oh yeah, we live on the backside. I actually met a girl that grew up here in Wellington. So she was here since 76 or 77.
So you came down here and fell in love, and that's why you didn't leave.
There you go. Fell in love with Wellington and fell in love with her. Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Yeah, yeah. No, we got here. My wife and I were very fortunate when we were young. We both had jobs where we get a job. We could roll into any town and have a job immediately, pretty much. I was a chef at the time, and she worked
nice.
in construction and construction management basically, and Still, everybody needs both of those. Luckily, I got out of mine because it was great. I had a great time, made a lot of money, all that kind of stuff. But that takes a toll on your body and stuff like that. And I'm much happier in real estate. Trust me.
Yeah, I hear you.
And a decade and a half later, so I literally at the point when I got out of the business, the way I got out of bed was I'd go put one knee to the ground and I'd turn and I'd push myself up and I would slowly stand up. And now, after about 15 years, my back actually feels about as good as it is. But I have a stand-up desk. I still can't really sit down much. Like my back is already
better for you doing that anyway.
Yeah. This is the second podcast, so my back is already starting to bug me out and all that. But anyways, that's not about South Florida. That's about me. So what so for somebody that might be coming here that don't know anything about South Florida, maybe they're coming from up north or something like that. What are some of the things that you do on a regular basis? That you just enjoy doing on a regular basis because you're here? Well,
I lived part of the time in Chicago, part of the time in Philly and North Carolina. So when I talk to all those folks and those friends, I basically, we all taught them about the weather, right? So basically I tell them there's probably only one day out of the year that I don't have shorts and flip-flops on. Yeah. And even then I'll still try it,
Yeah.
So, but just beautiful, just the weather. I love being outside. My wife and I take advantage of that. We're boating or, down by the beach or.
So you're one of the rare people that actually does get to the beach pretty often?
I don't go often enough.
Right.
I think we kind of take it for granted because we're so close, but the water over here is beautiful, and it's close to the Keys here, and there's so much to do.
Everything's we talk about that all the time. We're close to Orlando, we're close to the Keys, we're really close to the boat docks. It's going to come up again. I mean, it's just one of the greatest things is that we have so much here, and we get discounts for doing it all. Right? Because, I mean, and I guess it makes sense. Like, if you're going to Disney or whatever, they give you a Florida resident discount because, like, well, they're right there. We can get them here more.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Hotel stays, even right here on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Hotel stays right here on the beach. Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I was saying something a couple of 2 or 3 episodes ago or whatever. I went my mom. So my mom's turning 80. And she loves Key West, right? So we're putting her at the Opal. And Opal is right there, on the docks. You can watch all the action going on, sunset, blah, 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 blah. And for her, and it might not seem too crazy, but we're saving $40 a night just because she lives in Florida and I live in Florida, right? Like, so $40 a night. But if you think about it, you add it up. I mean, and we're only, it's like 4 nights, but you go 40, 80, 160 $160.
Adds up.
And then the cruise ships, and I love, I'm going to shout out to Mark Eli. He'll be on here one of these things, my travel agent, K&E Travel. But man, cruise deals, man, it's insane. Like the amount of, like, we get cruises for, my sister, she gets mad, right? Because we'll all go on the same cruise, family cruise or whatever. It costs her like $800 more. Like,
no, in fact, my wife's birthday is coming up, and that's one of the things we're doing. We're looking at, just a little cruise, maybe if it's just over to the Bahamas,
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, and it's like that little boat that goes out of the Jimmy Buffett boat now. Look, it's a little cheap, but it's a cool. You get on, you go to the Bahamas, you do your thing, you can stay there for a couple of days, you come back, it costs you like $600-700.
Yep,
it's insane.
It's great.
It doesn't suck. Yeah. So, all right. I'm glad we brought that up again. But that's something that, I mean, and, my wife and I are avid cruisers. I could talk about cruising forever, but I don't want to. So, are you a golfer now? I don't know if you're a golfer. Are you a golfer?
For many years I did.
Right.
Pretty much out there twice a week. But the recent years I haven't as much.
Right.
Some of the guys that I golf with are no longer golfing, or they moved on, and we've just been busy, with family and kids, and
life does do that to you. Yeah,
life takes over. But and the great courses though. When I was playing, it was nice just to be able to go and do different courses. Where I grew up, we had maybe 1 or 2 choices. Here it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I used to, and COVID changed my my whole routine and all that. A lot of people's, right, but before COVID, it would be weird because like I would have stuff, I would have people I was going to take out to look at houses, or I had an listing appointment or something like that, and all of a sudden somebody cancel on me. It'd be about 3:00. I go, damn, I'm gonna go grab my clubs and I'm gonna go play a round of golf for $12.
Yeah.
Play a little sunset. And I just tell the wife, hey, when I get done playing, I'll call you. We'll go hit, Duffy's or something, whatever. And that's, and that was awesome. I should start doing it again. But I'm not a great golfer. I'm around 100, whatever. I'm around 100. Doesn't really matter. But I just enjoy it. It's so beautiful. And the courses down here are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 2 of the boys just took up golf. With really not any lessons, but we just went out with them. First time I'd probably golfed in a couple of years. So my wife and I went out, and she's not an avid golfer. But we played the executive course on the ocean.
Oh, yeah. It's
beautiful
fun.
day.
Man, it's so much fun.
Yeah, just being outdoors.
And our clubs out there, we got some great clubs out there too. And,
we do.
I got a friend of mine who thinks he's a great golfer, Chris Zeller, is a member of a club out here. And but they, they are really beautiful and stuff like that. But and Chris is really a good golfer. But I don't even get out. Like I could go to any country club I want anytime. I got a million people call, hey Chris, can I go out and play golf with you? Still don't go out to play golf.
No.
Too busy working.
Got to make that time.
I know. Making time. Well, I tell you what, I wish I could make some more time. Anyways, but yeah, and then, you did mention the Keys, which obviously I have a house in Key Largo, which everybody knows because I bring it up every episode because it is part of, why I live in South Florida doesn't suck, because everybody up here gets down to the Keys because it is so close. I mean, that's,
different vibe.
Like almost all of my friends, and they go down to the Keys when I'm not even there. I was like, what? Oh, we were doing that before you. I was like, no shit, whatever, it's all good. But it's such an easy trip to get to Keys, and not necessarily Key West. Like people confuse the Keys and Key West and Key Largo and Almirada. The Keys are a pretty long little chain of islands once you get on them. So to get to them is very quick. To get all the way down to Key West can be a bit of a journey sometimes.
Yep.
Even if I leave Key Largo, it's a bit of a journey to get to Key West sometimes, depending on traffic. But there's a whole lot of keys down there. And then Everglades National Park, which we mentioned before. Then West Coast. We talk about the West Coast. I don't do. Would you go to the West Coast anymore? I mean, they said that's where you used to.
I was just this past weekend.
That's right.
My folks are over there, Anna Marie Island.
Yeah.
And went over there to visit. They just come down a couple months.
How did Anna Maria fare with
they
the
fared
storm.
okay.
They kind of passed them by,
Yeah,
kind of,
went a
right?
little further
They just got a
south.
little yeah.
Yeah, but then went inland. But
Yeah.
you know, they had some, but they did okay, and it's beautiful over there. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just so different from here. But
Yeah, it's two totally different worlds. People don't, you know, like Florida's a huge state, and it might as well be about 4 different states as far as I'm concerned.
yep,
Because South Florida, you can take South Florida, basically, you know, just there is the subtropical line, but just say if you took from the top of the lake and chopped it and then came down the middle, you got the east and the west, 2 totally different things, 2 totally different vibes. Monroe County could be its own little thing because that's definitely an island vibe, but the East Coast of Florida is just more happening, I guess is the thing. Like
it definitely.
It's more
laid back over there.
Man, you get over there, it's like, and it used to be because it was all retirees and stuff, but it still has that really slow old Florida feel over there. Like even if it's built up, even to a certain extent, Tampa and stuff and St. Pete Beach are still. It just feels really different when you're over there.
It does.
And then of course you go to South Georgia, which is the section Orlando and up, and then you go to Panhandle, and Panhandle don't even know what it is. Panhandle has no idea. You go in there and sometimes people are doing Mardi Gras, yeah, whatever, and then you got other people that are like, what's the town that they built up there to make it a thing? Is it Destin?
Yeah.
That's the one that they created, right?
I think so.
The destination one, yeah, that's crazy. And it's like you go there, and it's like
Destination.
Exactly. That's why I call it. Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways, but that one freaks me out, man, because you go there and it's like, holy shit, it's like the Twilight Zone. Like I don't even know what's going on there. But, anyways, it's fun though, and the beaches are just gorgeous. So,
Oh yeah.
And then you got the other side here with the Space Coast and which I dig. I love, man. It's one of my favorite places, St. Augustine. And in Florida, people don't realize that those of us that live in Florida, at least I've lived in Florida for a while, we don't really leave Florida, but we vacation in other parts of Florida. Most of us quite a bit. Like
That's very true.
We do a lot of like 3 hour away.
Even Central Florida, like up in Mount Dora and up in that area.
Yeah,
it's
well,
totally
she's
different,
going camping up there.
Okay.
Gaga, our producer, she's going camping up this weekend up somewhere up in the lakes area up there.
Sebring area or.
That's north of Orlando or something.
Gotcha.
She said. But there's a million.
It's
we
fun.
got and up there. That's where you got the springs and all, which Tiffany was talking about. Which I will not go in because they're 72 degrees. It's way too cold for this man. But there's tons of national and state forest and all. That's crazy up there. So so living in other parts of Florida don't suck either. But for me, South Florida is all about being underneath that subtropical line because I don't really want seasons. I'm sorry, I don't. People go, "Oh, you don't get no seasons here." I'm like, "Yeah, great. Keep them somewhere else. I don't need them. I want one season."
You go visit it if you want to.
That's right. Go visit. You go skiing or whatever. I don't know. And the flip flop and shorts thing, you're a braver man than me because it gets chilly down. If it gets below 50 or so, man, I'm like pulling out the, layering. If I got to leave the house, I'm layering. My wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "It's freaking like 48 degrees out there."
Yep.
She's like, "Just go get in the car and turn the heat on." I'm no. I'm like, so I got my tech shirt on, and then I got another shirt. And I don't own a jacket or anything like that, but.
I'm not saying it's not challenging, when the weather drops down here, but your blood changes quick when you move from the north down here. You get used to the warm weather.
It does. So this is how bad it is. My wife's the one yelling at me like, you're, I won't say what she called me. Rhymes with wussy though. She goes, "You wussy," and I'm like, okay. So this year, or not this year, last year, 2022, that winter, so whatever that would be. So 2 winters ago. We had a time when it was going to get down to 48 degrees in Key Largo. And she made me go out and buy a fire pit and wood. And I had to burn a fire for 2 nights so she could go out and sit for like 10 minutes with her little comfy whatever and her, little northern sexy boots or what. So she was at some campfire. She's just out there. She's all happy in her sweater. And she's like, "Oh, I'm getting hot." And she goes back in. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" But anyways, but that's the struggle. That's the struggle we have now. The struggle is real.
The struggle is finding firewood when it gets cold down here because everybody goes out.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Publix gets raped because everybody's like up north. Where do you get your firewood? The woods. Where do you get your firewood? Here at the grocery store. Just go buy a bundle. Like nobody's chopping any wood. The wood that grows down here wouldn't burn worth a damn anyways.
Yep.
It's also sappy and wet, but that is the struggle that we have here in South Florida is burning a fire when it's 47 or below or something like that. So there was actually a question I wanted to ask you. What I thought I wanted to ask you about buy down program. So we have a lot of first-time home buyers and a lot of people, particularly right now, because if you guys don't live down there already, the rents are insane. The rents are insane, and they're going even more insane. So we got a lot of people that are, buying, a place that's maybe smaller than what they really wanted to start with or whatever, like a starter home and stuff like that. And one of the ways that we're helping them out is because with the rates the way they are right now, and the rates aren't crazy high historically, right? But they're crazy high compared to what they were in the COVID bust of 2.7 and 3. Like, that's just not reality. It's not going to happen again. But there is a significant difference in the monthly cost, depending on what your rate is. So we're working with a lot of buyers that are looking to buy a place, but have at least their first and second year be a lower rate. Because that's the first year, honestly, when you're buying a house, especially first time home buyers, when you need to have the least payment, because that's when you're like, oh, I have to buy a lawnmower or whatever. Like, there's all kind of things that you don't know about that you got to do. And we're being very successful in doing that. And we've done that multiple times recently here. But for those that are out in the audience out here, why don't you tell them what a 2-1 rate buy down is?
Sure. So, a 2-1's a fairly common product now. I mean, it's nothing new. It's been around for years.
We used them before COVID. We used them.
Builders have used them for years themselves. But it's become more prevalent right now just because of the rate environment. So, and we have multitude. I mean, 2-1 is one of the common ones, but there's 3-2-1. There's a 1.5 one. We have so many
the 2-1's the one
different buy downs.
Yeah, the 2-1's I think the one that's easiest to understand also.
Oh yeah. So basically what it is the seller will contribute to basically give a subsidy. So they're buying the rate down for the first 2 years of the loan for the buyer. That money that they give to buy that rate down sits over in an escrow account. So let's just say hypothetically your rate's 6.5%. Well, your first year you'd be 4.5.
Right.
Second year it goes to 5.5, and then year 3 after it would go to 6.5. The hope would be that also that during that period of time, if rates were to go down, you'd be able to refinance and lock it in full time.
That is the
But the subsidy's great because it's basically helping you out. I mean, I just closed one. I think it was $575 loan amount, and it was like $600 to $700 a month savings in the first.
Yeah, it's huge.
Year,
it's huge, and the 3-2-1s are even huger. But the 3-2-1s are they're a little bit more special, and you have to put down at least $10,000 and a couple other things on like that. But then it becomes a really big chunk. But then also the seller's got to really want to give that big of a chunk, right? Because
motivation.
The mortgage company's going to get their money one way or the other, right? Basically. But what I tell a lot of people, both buyers and sellers, is that it's an attractive way to either sell your house faster, or if you're buying, to make it a more palatable issue. And realize, like, I have a couple that I'm helping right now. We're actually going to Port St. Lucie, and we're buying them a nice little house for like $318 right now, depending on what we get through inspection and all that. 3-bedroom, 1,400 square feet, nothing crazy. Frame house, but a metal roof, new metal roof. Assuming everything's in good shape, it should be just fine for them. But they were paying almost $3,000 in downtown Lake Worth for like a half duplex.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. I mean,
now they're going to have more space than they know what to do with.
10,000 square foot lot. 10,000 square foot lot this place is on. It's huge, right? Yep. And so to them, it's worth, it's well worth the trade off of driving from St. Lucie. And actually, he drives anyways because he's in construction. So he's up and down wherever the jobs are, right? And they all up and down. So it's not really a big deal for him. And she's like, I was going to get a new job up there. I don't care if we're going to be able to do that and get a nice big yard for the kids to play and and they found all the stuff that they care about. Because they're like, they honestly thought St. Lucie isn't in the middle of the woods, and it used to be like, and comparatively to Palm Beach.
Like Wellington.
Yeah, he's like, well, Wellington, when the first time I came to Wellington, I swear to God, there were more armadillos than people. I swear to God there were. And they were, that was a big, it was funny because I don't know if it was the first time I came out there, but there was some construction thing going on and they were still fighting over it. Apparently in like the 70s it was insane. Like I wasn't here then, but apparently it was insane. Like people would be fighting them off to get,
Well, my father-in-law here, who I married his daughter, of course, but he was one of the early guys that was out here selling dirt, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And with, you mentioned, I think you mentioned one of the roads around here named after one of those guys.
Oh, okay.
Gary.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they it was it was in the woods. But one of the things I wanted to touch base on just today, it was announced on one of our calls. Your first time buyer products for people that haven't owned a home.
We have products now
in 3 years. Oh, this great product, and because traditionally people have been limited by their income to qualify for that product. Because if you make too much, you don't qualify. But our particular product that we have, you can now go up to 100% of the income versus 80%, and it's in what geographic area that you're in. The next thing we just added.
You're not talking about one of the bond programs.
No,
this is for broadline for everybody.
We just are adding the buy down to that. I think we're probably going to be the only ones that are going to have that.
Well, yeah, that's a great product.
So
that's awesome.
It's phenomenal for first time buyers.
Check that out. Yeah.
Yep.
And for those of you, maybe if you're not even first time home buyers, like I have a lot of people from up north that come down and they're like, I have a little condo wherever, blah blah blah, and we're going to sell it. We're going to have money, but we're it's going to be a nice big chunk, but we're going to retire on that money. We don't want to spend too much. We're going to get part-time jobs or whatever. And I can't. I'm trying to think of what there was a thing where with a loan with qualification for a loan. Is there an asset
depletion?
Yeah, that
you basically look at the assets someone holds, and you can use there's a formula.
Right.
You can use that as income.
Yeah. Okay,
to help qualify.
And I don't know why that just made me think of that, but I know why I did, because somebody's actually wanting to do that again. And I'm like, I don't remember what that thing is called.
No, it really helps a lot of people in that position.
Right, because they don't want they want to semi-retire. They're like, we don't want to come down. I mean, we're moving to Florida to kind of semi-retire, but we're going to work because we need to. But we have a chunk of money from selling our place. Well, asset depletion program. That's awesome. All right. So, anyways, got a lot of options to get you down here if you want to get down here. And there's a lot of cool stuff down here. We're kind of been hanging around the Wellington area with our guests here recently, but we're going to expand out a little bit on that. Although we are going to have Palomino Gardens, because out here, particularly in Wellington, the aging population, it was always an issue because there was no really housing for older people out here. Zip.
Right.
And when I mean older people, I'm not talking. We have plenty of 55 and older neighborhoods, but this is and this particular one is not assisted living at all. Although they do have a company that can come in and do the assisted, but it's independent living. This place is like going on a cruise ship, man. You walk in there, it's insane, bro. And it's all inclusive, beautiful apartments. 3 meals a day plus a little pantry and a chef's kitchen. You can tell the chef you want your whatever they have. Yeah. I can't even. Well, I'm gonna bring them on. We're gonna talk about that, but the stuff that's coming into the area is very exciting too. Stuff that we never had here before because in a lot of ways we were a little bit underserved, but we're growing up here. So
absolutely.
All right. Well,
place to be.
How much time do we got? We got any time? Okay, a couple minutes. Yeah, because I mean I'm very bad at judging the time on these things, so I'm just. So I guess to get back to living in South Florida does not suck. What is and I try to ask everybody this, and everybody kind of goes, I don't know. What is the one thing that people wouldn't expect? Like you came down here and you never expect it, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world.
That's an interesting question, because the beach to me was always, I had North Carolina, New Jersey.
It was always about the beach.
Well, yeah, I mean, those were my family spent our vacations, west coast of Florida, down to St. Pete area. To me, honestly, we go out on the boat and just the water blows me away. Here and all the way down. It's just so beautiful, it's tropical. And that wasn't something I was expecting when I first came here. I had no idea that the water was like that over here on this coast. I had no idea.
Now, when you go on a boat, do you do a lot of like Beer Can Island intercoastal type stuff, or are you out on a lot of
we do
a lot of loungy boating?
Yeah, we do the loungy boating. We'll hit the key line. We'll head up north to Jupiter up there that way.
Hit a couple restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's an awesome part of the South Florida living, and that's really what I mean. Here and in the Keys. I'm skipping Miami for a couple of reasons. Number one is I don't really like Miami. Number two is I don't live there, but I do like live in both other places. And it's like some people just don't even they don't drive their car. Like everything is on their boat. If they got to go to the grocery store, and pretty soon there's somebody's going to get smart and put a grocery store out there where they got a dock and they can dock.
There you go.
But it's crazy how much the life down here is. At least depending on where you're at too. Like you do a lot more than a lot of people out west do on the water. A lot of people out west, they don't even get to they get 7 miles away, but you might as well be at the moon, right?
Yeah, we love dining on the water.
And one of the reasons we bought the house in the Keys is because when we're up here, we're just always working, we're doing our thing whenever, so it was going to be like a vacation, just whatever, getaway. Now it's a whole nother thing, but it's like a part-time living arrangement. But I don't know. It's awesome. It doesn't suck, and I got to come up with some different stuff maybe on the next podcast, because everybody says the same thing about why it doesn't suck living down there, but everybody certainly does enjoy it.
No.
Oh no, food. What's your favorite place to eat? Where's your favorite place in Palm Beach County to eat?
I can't give that away.
Oh, come on, man.
Let me tell you.
They got more than 4 seats. Just give me one restaurant. You don't have to be, all right, give me one restaurant that you really love in Palm Beach County, anywhere in Palm Beach County.
So, Leftovers.
I don't even know where Leftovers is. Where's that?
So, Leftovers.
Now everybody's going to know.
Up in North Palm on Military and University. And phenomenal fresh fish. I mean, they do toppings are, it's encrusted with, you pick your own encrustment. It's just everything about Leftovers. It. Nice, menu of beers and.
Yeah. Is it like a funky Florida vibe, or is it more formal?
Well, they have a sister restaurant called Food Shack, which is on.
I know Food
Shack's all the way down Indian Town Road.
I know where Food Shack is.
So same owners.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But
it's similar concepts then, or?
Yeah, Food Shack's a little funkier vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely funky.
Yeah, but Leftovers is that would be the the one spot, man.
Very nice.
We love anytime family comes in, we try and get them up there. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming in. As always, I could always probably talk more, but we only do have a certain amount of time on our program here. So thank you, sir, for coming in.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me. And it doesn't suck living here.
No, it sure don't suck. All right, we'll call it a wrap. Thank you so much. Have a great day, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Living in South Florida Does Not Suck. Please remember to subscribe, hit the bell. I'm not sure what the things are going to be, but like it on Facebook, share it with your friends. Spread it amongst the world. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you here again for the next one.